Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to some of you, and peace out to the rest of you. Hit the share button because the message is more important than the messenger. So, part two of my last three uploads is no longer on YouTube. Well, it's a private video for storage, but it's no longer on YouTube. You going to have to see that on Buy Me a Coffee, and you're going to have to subscribe to that. And you can go back, reference it later as you like. But as I stated, that wasn't going to be left out for free. So with that being said, my people, you now have, you got Buy Me a Coffee as an option, and it's worth a subscription because there are confessions on there, women confessing, and I put them up. Some of them have actually been deleted by the women that have confessed, but I still got the proof they put them up there. So if you have not subscribed to that, you should at least look into the business class for the first month. And then you'll find out that it's worth the first class for the months after that. A few rhymes on there and some more to come, Lord willing, if time allows. I've got, and plus the students themselves continue to provide experiences with this that make good fodder for some of these funny rhymes. I have one guy, he's one of two that tested into the advanced level. And he really thought that he was just ready, but he wasn't. And all this kid did was argue about everything. I mean, he's a boundary pusher. Everything he knows he shouldn't do, he tries to do it. And then this nigga walked into my office on Thursday. Can you do anything? Because he's about to fail. And when I told him that the students had succeeded in taking everything out of my hands that was still left in my hands, then he began to argue, not raising his voice, but he wanted to debate, and he started lying to try to prove his point, telling me that so-and-so took the exit exam and he passed, and so-and-so has a schedule for the next semester already. And I told him, listen, we don't have the results that they passed. If the results come back that they didn't pass, then those schedules are null and void. And it came back that they did not pass, but I didn't tell him that. But he was an example of just this, I won't be accountable. I'm never going to come along and say, well, I screwed up and I'm a boundary pusher and I got a bad attitude and I don't control my ADHD. He never came forward and did that. And the funny thing is, my white boss from the UK told me that in all of his years being here, that's one thing nobody has ever done. And I had to stop and think about it and realize that the last time anybody ever said something like that to me was only regarding one absence. Yeah, I was absent that day. That's on me. But this other day, that was it. It's crazy. I know, man. It's insane. These guys will do any and everything they can to not be in the classroom, but to not be marked absent for being absent. Anyway, the job is going to continue to provide funny stories like that, and more of them are going to be on Buy Me a Coffee. Some have said, well, you living over there, and why are you worried about what's happening over here? And that's a valid question, but I talk about what's going on over here mostly on Buy Me a Coffee, the Jet Black Lounge. So anyway, I open this up to talk about, what's her name? Laura Harrier. Is that her name? I forgot what her first name is. Is it Paula Harrier or Laura Harrier? And Shamiek Moore. That proves my point. Number one, Harrier, we saw how she acted with this white actor named Tom Holland 2 times. twice. Thirsty, really inappropriate. She didn't post videos. She was putting hands on him. And then we see Shamiek Moore, who respected boundaries for the most part, but he posted a video. And apparently she had asked him to take it down. She says she had asked him to take it down. I don't even know if she did. And Shameik was nice and apologized and said, I wasn't trying to insinuate a relationship. That wasn't it. Now, was it a little weird? I guess so. But you get back to this, and what it goes back to is that we are too easy. That's it. Now he looks like a weirdo for being too easy. Even if he didn't mean to flirt. So you got to be careful about stuff like that. You got to, when you see women's games that they play, you want to flip them back on them. Olivia Alexa even recently just said that you got to start off with this frame. And the funny thing is that this frame is not something you just automatically start off with. There's no instinct to have this frame. It's just something women are looking for you to have. Ain't nothing natural about it. And she said that if anybody has ever picked on you or walked over you before, and then you come with this frame to a lady, she's like, no, you don't really have it. I don't believe it. Well, the problem is that sisters and Western women by extension are automatically going to doubt that you're really that's real at all. Any guy that doesn't let you walk over them, they're just going to doubt, doesn't let people walk over them. They're paranoid about this. The actor that plays Reacher, I think he said something about how he had been bullied. I'm not saying he didn't fight back or defend himself, but because I don't remember, but I saw a headline about it. And so what winds up being the case is that you got these Western broads that are looking at like every guy and they're wondering, did anybody ever walk over him? Did anybody ever walk over this man in his childhood? And that's how I'm going to determine if he's really a man today or not. So you can't win. They don't let you outgrow this stuff, but they want you to outgrow it. And then as soon as you start looking at their past, well, let's see here. Let's look at you. So you want to know if I beat up dudes or I got beat up when I was young, even if I didn't really have to fight that much, which is ideal. You want to know which one is it. I didn't have to fight. Won't even make a difference. You won't believe that stuff. Okay, cool. So tell you what, what's your body count? Well, that's my past. See, do you see the inconsistency? And we let them say that. That's their past. We let them say that. But the thing is, they are sitting up here asking questions in their minds sometimes that they know are too dumb and immature to ask out loud, but they never stop asking them in their heads. This is reason enough that you don't make approaches to women from a culture like that. You don't approach them. And then not to mention, you're not getting anything out of the deal in the West. Nothing. You don't get the cooking, you don't get the cleaning, you don't get the box. You just get to take care of her. And she cheats. You're not going to get chastity and exclusivity with these Westernistas. You already know that. You can't pay for it. There's nothing you can do to get that. You can't even be her type and get that. Because if you're her type and she marries you, she'll still cheat with you with someone that looks like you and has less. Remy Ma. My bad. Did I say that out loud? And now Remy Ma's mad as all get out because she can't run up on Clarissa Shields. She's not mad at Clarissa Shields for taking a man that she loves. She's mad at Clarissa Shields for being with a man that she wanted to emasculate by cheating with somebody else. And if it was Papoose that knocked out Easy, you think she would have gone home with Papoose. If the roles had been reversed and Easy knocked out Papoose, she'd have gone home with Easy. We know that because she did it anyway. But Papoose knocks Easy out, she still goes home with Easy. So what I'm saying to you is that all this stuff about guys being weird and awkward and incelish and creepy and rapey and all that stuff that they're talking about really boils down to the fact that some guys are just moral. You're just not knuckle dragging nigga stereotypes. And that's all the hell it takes. Papoose showed what a good guy he was while she was locked up. What the hell, man? Took care of her child by another man. She thought he was inferior. Didn't Red Femme Diaries, Nyla, tell us that on Poor Man's podcast? If you take care of her children by another man, especially before you have your own, she sees you as inferior. Yo. She said it, and Remy Ma turned around and proved it. And that's after Remy got herself locked up for doing dumb stuff over $2,000 anyway. Man, I'm telling you on the real, this is messed up. This is bad. I'm telling y'all, man. Shamiek Moore just showed us what he really did wrong. What he really did wrong was he was simply too easy. Just being too easy. If you have to be at a function with some lady and you post a video, you want to do like these Instagram models and Instagram thoughts where you don't really show any interest in anybody. That's really how you want to do it. The ones that post the little booty pics, like take some guys, take Olivia Alexa, for example. When she ends her video, she says, bye, and blows a kiss at the screen. In whom has she shown interest? She doesn't show interest. She'll describe it to you, and I appreciate her confessing, but how does she show interest? She doesn't. You want to be this guy that doesn't show interest that easily. And if you do, you show interest in women that most of these women cannot be. And I'll give you a list. I see her, the wife of Pharaoh was a good example, but you don't want to go through what she went through and you don't want anybody else to. Khadija. Yeah. First wife of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Now that's a woman most women cannot be. And by the way, she wasn't, some people would say, well, she didn't do all this amazing stuff till she was 40. There are some that say that she was 28 at that time. As a matter of fact, there's evidence of her actually being 28, 3 years older than Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, a hell of a lot wealthier, went to get him. When she was 28 and not 40. Now that makes it even tougher for these women because you know when these women are in their 20s at all, even if they're already hitting the wall in their 20s, they can't go and get a man who's younger than them and makes less money than them. They can't do that. And they won't. I've had Muslim women sit up and say this, and that's when they're traditional Muslim women from the traditional world. They'll sit up and say, I can't go and get a man, even if no matter how much I like him, I can't do that. I'm like, okay, gotcha. So he has to come to you and then pay your bills. You better do what the hell that man tells you. Now, they don't necessarily like when I say that when they're Western Muslim women, and I tell them that, but that's what it is. Shamiek Moore, if he was not trying to insinuate a relationship, was still too easy. If you post a video and you say something about an accomplishment of that night or a milestone that you reached and she happens to be in the video, that's a different matter. But gentlemen, you're out here validating Westernisha's. Most of you are waking up about that, especially you in my audience. You are. I'm glad about that. But each one teach one. We gotta each one reach one, each one teach one. We gotta to wake up more of these guys and make them understand. Look, when did you ever see one of these Instagram models or thoughts that you validate with your compliments and your likes? When did you ever see one of them actually show genuine interest in a man that most men can be? You don't. Then all of a sudden they're doing OnlyFans, and then they're screwing a visually select few guys, or maybe they're still doing solo stuff. It's debauchery. But then there's always some sort of unavailability that they want to maintain, and I think that's what you guys are going to have to start doing. Make it a point to be unavailable to Westernisha. I'm available to work with you. I'm available to make money with you if you're going to do your part. I'm available to do anything except to love you romantically. And that includes protection and provision on a personal level. Shuck that fit. You want protection? Pay. Pay Charles Faulkner's Black Line security firm. You got some protection you want. Provision? Well, you can do that on your own. You fought for the right to do it, to work 8 hours a day, and now you're doing it. If you can find a job. And what do you choose to do? OnlyFans. Make $150 a month and you'll still stick with OnlyFans before you go work a regular job because you fought for the right to do what women hate to do the most, and that's work. Well, damn, bitch. You weren't fighting for the right to work. You were fighting for the right to compete with men. And some of these ladies don't realize that they're young and they're making a very important choice when they're young and when they're at a crossroads. Do you hate to see a happy man more than you hate to work? See, when they're young, they don't like to work, but you know what they hate more than working? They hate to see a man happy and to be the cause of that happiness. They hate to see a man happy, period, but to be the cause of that happiness, they really hate that. They don't want that. So what do? They choose to keep on working so that a man won't be too happy because of them. That's the reason they do it. So that they can vex a man. And because they make that choice when they're young, even if they don't realize that's the choice they're making, they get older and they're locked into it. Shamiek Moore brought all of this to mind by just one thing. And it is what I've been saying that we need to stop doing all this time. And that is he was too damn easy. And then here comes Harrier, the nerve of her, the way she acted with Tom Holland in front of her on camera, bunch of cameras pointed at all of them, the way she acted 2 times. And she wants to sit up and act all high and mighty. I'm engaged and this important to me. Bitch, if Tom Holland told you to leave your fiance, you'd leave him. If he said you can be my bitch, my side piece, but you can't marry him and be my bitch. I'm going to marry Zendaya, but you're going to be my side bitch. You would call your fiance and be like, we ain't getting married. I got a better deal. It's a damn shame But that's what it is to it. And maybe she's using Shamiek Moore to try to sound high and mighty after the way that Tom Holland didn't positively respond to her thirsty ass. But I also want you guys to realize that that's how these broads are. These broads that you might, even if Shamiek doesn't have a crush on her, if he does not have one, let's pretend that. The broads on whom you may have a crush have some guy that they can't get. And because they can't get those guys, they then want to feel better at your expense. And if you knew this and understood this at a deep level, you wouldn't like their pictures. You wouldn't give them any of the feedback that they want you to give them. You give them feedback that they don't want, but that they need. Well, who are you trying to screw? Excuse me, did you mean to post this in public like this? Did you just want some attention? Because, there are some ladies that are in the history books for actual inventions. If you just want attention like that, invent something, dumbass. And they're going to, of course, respond back by saying, oh, you just mad because you'll never get this. But nowadays you can sit up and say, well, y'all always say that whenever we give y'all advice that's designed to help you. Like, we knew that's what you were going to say next. So, yeah, once again, it has been shown that the thing that we consistently do wrong is nothing other than be too damn easy, and we need to stop that mess. It's the best time to stop that was decades ago. The second best time is now. You've heard me say that before too, though. I hope that this helps. Hope one day Shameik hears this message. Imagine if somebody got into Shameik with this message a decade ago. Imagine if somebody got into Travis Hunter with this message a decade ago. I hope that what I've said is a benefit. Thank you for listening. As always, black heart, black mind, black out, assalamu alaikum, black heterosexual, non-select male power because they don't like it, black patriarch until extinction or judgment day. Thank you for flying with us again here on Jet Black Airways, where the phrase jet black is also a verb. Keep jet black with us till the wings and the wheels fall off. Gender justice forever.